fumble recovery, touchdown.
Listen, dinner's coming. This one of the first things. What do you need to go there with you guys? Have you any information you want to know?
That's what Rusty said too. And Rusty, he said it first. It's going to be fun.
All right, welcome to this week's press conference. Western Carolina on tap for Mercer this week. 7-2 all time against Western Carolina. We will take a 7-game winning streak in the series into the weekend. So we are 3-1 all time in Kaloe. So lots of positives to talk about for the Mercer Bears this week. So
You say Kaloe. You say Kaloe.
I say it different every time.
Kaloe.
Kaloe.
I like it, Todd.
Kaloe.
I think you in North Carolina for
Don't put that on.
That's the worst thing.
They don't need that.
But without further ado, head coach Drew Cronic.
All right, good to see everybody. Recapping the game. I thought it would be a challenge. I figured Wofford's probably the best 9-win team in the country. What I thought about them defensively going into the game, and I talked about this, I thought they were pretty good on defense, and I still think that. And then offensively, they have a few weapons over there. So as you go through the game, I thought Carter Peavy, first of all, played his most complete game, most consistent game. He just looked really comfortable. He really, when you go 23 out of 30, that's a pretty good day. We started off, we stopped them. I think we ended up having a 99-yard drive right out of the gate. So that's really good to start off fast like that. I thought offensively we probably had our best, in a lot of ways, our best half. I think we were around 250 yards, but yards don't matter because we weren't getting points. We needed to be at the 21 point mark by halftime with what we were able to do. But we had a few miscues there on some critical downs. We did miss a field goal, so that kind of kept us from putting points on the board. Defense played really good. They gave up the one big play, the slant route in the middle where the kid outran us a little bit. But other than that, I thought our defense played really great again. Second half was wild. There was a moment where I think we had the ball first to start the third quarter. We got a holding call, backed us up, got a sack, punted. They go down. We stop them on 4th and 1, another huge stop by the defense, and then we go 90 yards offensively to make it 17-7. Then boom, Zoo gets the sack and the fumble and the touchdown. So complimentary football there, causing a turnover. That helped us separate. Now the ending was kind of crazy a little bit. It got a little weird. We got some learning to do there, especially with our onside kick, our hands team. We got to do a better. We did a real good job the first time. Second time we did not. We had a bad situation there where we did not have a good punt coming off the goal line, which set them up. So things we can definitely clean up, but defense is playing outstanding. Our defense is going to give us a chance to win every week. I thought Lance Wise played his best game of the season. Obviously, he had the big touchdown return, but he just was active. He made a difference in the game, just offensively, it's just being more consistent in some critical situations to stay on the field. But I thought we played one of our better games. So it was a tough game. I knew it would be. It's good to get the win. We're in the hunt. We got a big game, obviously, this weekend to go up to Cullowhee and play Western Carolina, and they're good. They're a good team, and they're playing well. They're playing with a lot of confidence. So they just came off a loss to Furman. But I know we probably played our best game since I've been here against them last year. I'm sure that they'll be thinking, they'll be getting after us this weekend. But if we'll go do what we're supposed to do, play good, solid defense, we got to continue to get more production from the offense and not have some critical errors, special teams wise. But our kids will go out there and compete, and we'll be excited about the opportunity up there. I think it's supposed to be a great weather. It's going to be a nice day in the mountains. This is the reason why you play is to get in games like this and keep yourself in the hunt. So we're excited about that opportunity. Questions for me?
Given, maybe Carter's best day, as you said there, but only the small lead you guys had at the half, what was the message to your guys in the locker room? And, did they have a good look about them? Did you feel like you left points on the board in the first half?
I did feel like we left points on, out there the first half, but the kids had a good look about them. We talked about it. Hey, you got to win tough games like this in the Southern Conference, and in the third quarter we separated, and that was, and we made plays to do it in difficult moments. getting a stop on fourth down, driving the ball on a long drive, and then causing some turnovers. So we separated it when we had to. So kids had a good look about them. It was a good win for us. Got to keep getting better, But like I said, we still got we can still do some things if we'll just go play well.
I feel like it's probably the biggest fourth quarter you guys have had offensively this season. What is there anything to that, and just what does that say about? All right, we didn't have the degree of separation earlier that we wanted to, but let's hammer this home.
Like I said, just to those 90-yard drives or 99, whatever, the first drive, you got to do a lot of things right because we didn't have a lot of big plays in those drives. We didn't have, I think we had 5 explosion plays, which explosion plays for us are runs of 12 or more or passes of 16 or more. We had 5. We'd like to have 8 to 10 in a game, and they did a pretty good job. It's hard to get behind them. They double covered Ty a little bit, which made them a little bit susceptible in the run game, mixing that up. But we need to get more points out of the first half. That would make the game a little simpler. But we didn't, and then we played better in the fourth quarter and separated. So sometimes hopefully you learn something. You got to be a psychiatrist these days, right? So I'm going to spin it. Hey, man, we learned something about ourselves right there. All right, we pushed through. We got better. Got to win when it could have gone the other way. There was some time there where it could have gone the other way, and it did not. We didn't let it go that way.
What was your view of Zeus' sack?
I wasn't sure who it was at first. I figured it was him. I just saw him come free and smoke the guy, and then I didn't realize it was him that also. It's nuts over there sometimes. So I just kind of like, who got it? And they press box. Yeah, Zeus sacked. I said, well, who scored? Zoo did. That's pretty dang good. Get a sack and a fumble recovery and a touchdown on one play is pretty good stuff.
I mean, what can you say about him as a player? I saw you go over to him on the sideline after the play and just give him some love and everything that he's done for this defense, and to see that kind of come through in that way.
Sure. He was excited, and Zoo's he's in his final year of eligibility. He's a guy that's been loyal to the program. He's been a good player for us. He's a great kid. Okay, he's a hard worker. He's a team guy, and you want to see good things happen, okay? And he's been playing really well, but to see him kind of break through and have a big play like that certainly was exciting.
And then lastly, looking ahead, the message that you guys are still in the hunt. Is it just 1 week at a time thing?
It is. It is. It's you go try to get better and play every Saturday, and every Saturday is its own novel, right? So it's 3.5 hours on Saturday. Now we got to prepare. And Western obviously has been scoring a lot of points. Wide open offense, throw it around really fast, running back, all those things. But playing pretty good defense, so that'll be a great matchup. And then defensively, they're a very talented bunch. And they're fairly. You kind of know where they are, but you gotta block them and get after them, and they're good. They got good solid players over there. So there's not much change, I think, schematically for either team. Since last year, it's the same coaches kind of doing the same things, and a lot of the same people, a lot of the same players. So we got to go execute, and up at their place. It's a road game that if you can go win a championship type game, because I think they're a playoff caliber team, that can be a defining moment in your season. So got to prepare to do that. Try to get our legs back under us. We're a little nicked up like everybody is in the 8th week. So get a lot of treatment and get enough practice to where we know what we're doing, and then we got to go play good, and that's what it should be. You play good and have a chance to win, or play bad and get your butt whipped and head home. So, but it's good to be in this. It's good to be in this. Have this opportunity, and the kids know that. They'll be excited about it.
Coach, what you preach week after week, you kids in the locker room, we got to get better. We got to get better. It seems like your offense is starting to gel more and more every week. Starting to maybe less mistakes every week.
Yeah.
You kind of seeing the same thing.
Yeah, offense is so much about just rhythm and confidence, and continue to build schematically on what people have seen and what your next step is. And I really think, man, football's such a quarterback-driven game too. And I felt like Carter really played well, and I thought he had a good week of practice. Just had a good look about him, because I felt like in a lot of ways he was playing like the weight of the world was on his shoulders sometimes. You know, just feeling like, man, this is on me. I got to do all these things. You know, I got to play better. And I think he's turned loose of some of that, you know, and just played a little freer because he's a good football player, you know, and he doesn't have to take the whole burden of the offensive success on his shoulders. Whoops. And that was good to see. He just had a better look about him at practice last week, and he played really solid Saturday. And I think that'll give him confidence. I think moving forward, he'll continue to get even better. All right, thank y'all very much.
Sorry about knocking that off.
We're going to bring up Al Wooten, starting running back.
Is this one in my shorts?
Oh, okay.
Michael.
Oh, shoot. My bad.
Is that what? No. Good.
All right.
Don't touch it.
I got you.
Al, what can you make of Carter's performance on Saturday? Do you agree with Coach Cronic's assessment?
Oh yeah, I agree with Coach Cronic. I believe that Carter looked very comfortable out there, especially compared to the other weeks. You know, I've been with Carter for going on 4 years now, and just to see the evolution of him is pretty good. You know, he balled out his freshman year, had to sit back for 2 more years, and I'm not the best at math, 2, 3 years, whatever. So to see him out there playing with some confidence, some juice, it's good to see him do his thing.
When you guys are in a dogfight like that at the halftime, what's the message in your guys' position group on the offense in general when you guys are in a fight like that with a team that maybe you feel like you should be beaten up on a little bit more?
Mm-hmm. Well, in our position room, it's just continue to do your job, just keep pounding, and at the end of the day, something's going to break open, and that's normally what happens. As far as the team, just everybody has to continue to do their job. If you don't do your job, then you're more sustained to have bad things happen. So everybody just has to do their job.
And then the fourth quarter with Zeus sack and fumble recovery, and then Lance's pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
To your point about it finally breaking up in that, was there any doubt that the defense was going to do something like that?
Oh no, there's never a doubt. I mean, for as long as I've been here, the defense has always been the ones that consistently does their thing, you know. And so I've always had faith in our guys. Isaac, when he's out there healthy, Ken, Lance, Zoo, I'm always knowing that those guys are going to do their thing.
All right, what was your view of the sack, fumble recovery?
I'm like Coach Cronic, man. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I saw the sack on the big screen, and then next thing you know, I just see a flood of people in the end zone, and then I just see everybody jumping on Sue's back. I'm like, okay, I guess he scored. So I was pretty happy with what they did out there.
As kind of an outsider looking in, as a running back, how good is this defense right now?
Our defense?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe they're one of the best in the country, if not the best. Those guys go out there, bust their behinds every day. Coach Taylor's on them, Coach Cole's on them, Coach Adams on them. I mean, they have no choice but to go out there and produce. So, but then when you got a back like me going out there and trying to give them the work every day, I mean, they gotta go out there and perform.
And then lastly, looking ahead to Western, given you guys' history with them, does that give you guys a little extra confidence boost going into this Saturday?
I would say so. But at the end of the day, like Coach Cronic said, man, it's week by week, So this week, Western Carolina is our opponent, and we can't treat them differently than we treated Wofford. So, I mean, just another game, if you ask me.
Thanks, sir.
Sure.
Jordan Swain, starting defensive lineman.
Good afternoon. I know I'm not Zoo, but I try to make up for it a little bit.
What can you say about Sullivan and what he means to that defense?
He's a huge part of the defense. He's a guy that can come in and make a play and change the game around instantly. You know what I mean? And when you have somebody like that on the defense who's a key playmaker, then you realize his value very quickly in the game. The offense has to respect him, and when the offense is respect him, that gives other players on the defense a chance to make plays as well. So,
for as good as you guys have been, I know you guys are always hungry to get another turnover or whatever it might be. Did you guys feel like there was something that you still had to show in the second half, and is that maybe why the fourth quarter went the way it did?
I feel like our mission is always the same throughout the whole game. Like Wu was saying, in the first half, we didn't really break open how we wanted to. We didn't have the takeaways. We didn't have the dominance that we wanted. And so the second half, the mission was the same: go out and prove who we are. Play our brand of football. And I think we definitely did that.
Same question I asked Al. How good is this defense right now? How confident are you guys going into week after week, and the fact that you are going to keep this team in it?
I feel like we're really good, especially right now, knowing that in the past the offense has some struggles, so the game was on our back. But as the offense starts to gel, our mission, like I keep saying, is going to stay the same. We're going to play our brand of football. We're going to go out and dominate like the defense that we are. And yeah. Sir, thank y'all.
As a bonus today, both basketball coaches are in attendance. Coach Susie Gardner, women's basketball head coach, and Coach Greg Gary. We'll talk about the upcoming season as far as their personnel coming back and what they have to look forward to. The women's basketball team, both teams start 2 weeks from tomorrow, November 6th. Women's basketball will start on the road at Western Kentucky. Men's basketball will start at home against Clark Atlanta. They flip-flop on Thursday, November 9th. The women will come home and host Florida Atlantic, and the men will go on the road to play Chicago State. So with that being said, we're going to call Coach Susie Gardner first.
Come to the back door. See, I'm sticking my teeth. No questions, please, because I don't have any answers as I stand here today. It is too early for me to have any answers. I'm not even sure why I was invited to come to this. But 2 weeks, I guess, we hit the road to go to Diddle Arena. Western Kentucky is a great women's basketball program, so it's a great way to start. But I seriously don't have a whole lot of answers. I probably know one player that's going to start, and that could change tomorrow's practice. So a lot of questions up in there, brand new staff. It's been an interesting summer, but we're plugging right along, and it's upon us. So I don't have a lot to say today.
Well, I've got a few questions.
Okay, Connor.
New staff, almost entirely new team. Have you ever had an off-season like this?
I have lost my entire staff before. I think when you have, the success that we do, people come calling, and all three of those guys were great. Ben was with me for like 7-8 years. He was family, very, very close to David and Marquez. So missing them as not just co-workers, but as human beings. But they went to places where they're getting paid more, different conferences, that type of thing. But I think what was tricky, quite honestly, was I lost him in May, and I didn't get to hire him until late summer. And so it was me and Allie Troney, who is my Dobo, and one of our GAs that had to work all summer. So that was a different type of summer for us. But it's worked out okay. I mean, we got a team full of people. We bring them in for summer school for 5 weeks, and they have gelled pretty well. We went on a team retreat. And they seem to like each other there, but it's all different in the summertime. Everybody's happy at then you put the starting lineup out there, and then the minutes change, and then that's when the things start to happen. But so far, we're all good, except we haven't had a I could count on one hand how many practices we've had with the entire team there. So that's kind of been a wrinkle in the equation.
Any reason for that?
Injuries.
Coach Cronic talks so much about being like a psychiatrist out there with gelling with a new team together like that is. Do you become a little bit of a psychiatrist once a head coach?
Well, I hire people out for that. That's above my knowledge. I went to Georgia as P major, so. I think it's. I think he said it tongue in cheek, but I think every coach in America, in any sport, at any level, that's what we've become. But, I will say that with our 6 new players, only one is a freshman, and the rest of them are 20 and above, and they're much more, I enjoy coaching that age. I enjoy coaching people that have been there at different schools, whether it's Division I or junior college. They just come in with a different mentality. You know, they understand the time management. So I have enjoyed our 5 transfers, and I think they're hard workers. They're hungry. You know, we've got people from other conferences that, you know, wanting to come here to win a championship. We got junior college players that played for championships in the JUCO, but they know the expectations here. And so, and they're also, you know, I counted the other day, we have 12 players, and I think 8 of the 12 last year started on one team or another. And so they're all used to being starters. So that's the tricky part. So when we first started the summer practices, it was probably the most competitive 5-on-5 that we've had in a long, long time. Now, with one other thing I want to make sure I note is that we have got an amazing male practice squad. We have guys here at Mercer that come every day, religiously show up. They're great players, they're great people, and that really helps us when we're low on numbers to have these guys that we practice with every day.
When it comes to fighting for minutes like that, like you said, you know, once you put out the starting lineup, could that be a good thing in a way, in terms of all these different players fighting for playing time and you know, pushing themselves to one up each other in practice?
It's good for me. It's good for me because you know, even in our really good years, you know, I look down the bench and I'm like, okay, keep playing even though you're tired. And now I think we do a whole lot more substituting. I think for the athlete, it makes them come to practice every day and have to give effort versus, you know, sometimes taking plays off, that type of thing. But you know, so far I think it's going to be a good thing. You know, we'll see how attitudes, that type of thing, may or may not change. But seriously, right now it gives me the luxury. We may not have the same starting lineup for a few months. We may never have the same starting lineup. You know, I will mention that this is going to be anybody that's followed us since I've been here. We've always been very guard dominated. You know, that's kind of what I've gone through, and so this is a team that and I know this is recorded, so I hope it works. But I think we're going to be really good in our post game this year. Yep, I said the post game. So that'll be a lot different. But right now, our post players are really competitive, really strong, play hard. And I'm excited about our post game right now.
And is that's something, I mean, you look for stability in over the last few years. Does that lend itself to being maybe a bit of more defensive-minded team a little bit?
Well, I was going to wear my defense shirt, Daniel, today. That's what I had picked out to wear, but we are not playing very good defense right now, so I'm going to hold on to that. That's what my hope was at. You know, we're not. You know, I've always had great skilled shooters from, you know, Linnea, Kiki, that group on back, and right now we don't necessarily have what I would consider like that pure shooter type player. So I was going to lean on our defense, but you know, right now we're not looking great there. But again, what we're doing with our post players, we're having to now. This is what guards have to learn how to do: pass the ball to the post, because you know a lot of guards aren't great, especially if they're scoring guards. No matter what level, they've not learned how to pass. So we've been working on the pass this fall.
And then the one thing I wanted to ask lastly is, you know, I think this is a program now. You would agree that anything short of a conference championship is, you know, not what you guys want to be doing. Does this team have an understanding of that, and are they ready for that role?
You know, that's a great question, comment, because, you know, when I first got here, that was the one and only goal, win a championship. And then we won 9. And so, yeah, in my mind, that is, you know, championship or bust, quite honestly. And, you know, we don't try to, you know, cram it down our new players' throats, because you walk into our locker room and you know it, right? You whatever. But you have to be careful, because on one hand, sometimes players come here, they think they inherit that championship, and they have done nothing. So you got to be very careful to make sure that they know that was the past, and this is every year's a brand new year. But in my mind, unequivocally, that is the goal. Glad you came, because I had nothing else to talk about. So.
Try to keep it general.
Thank you.
Before we bring Coach Greg Gary up, I want to reiterate that we do have our tip-off event, our annual tip-off event is tonight in Mercer Village from 6 to 8 o'clock. So obviously there's a lot of fan favorite stuff going on out there. We'll have autograph sessions and such like that, and then interviews with both coaches and players. So, Coach Greg Gary.
Awesome.
All right, thanks for having me and Susie. She's right. It's hard sometimes to talk about. We practice for all summer, and we've got it's out of 13 scholarships. We got 8 new guys, which I think is from day one after last season we were done. I think they've made great strides, especially the guys that have stayed. We got a new strength coach who's phenomenal, who's really done a great job. I think it started with that. Because last year didn't end the way we wanted to. So the guys that came back have been tremendous. We do have a couple. We got an all-conference in Jalen McCreary, who is going to be a senior, who's very, very good. I think one of the best players in the league. Jack Quinones was a freshman on the all-freshman SoCon team. He's another one that I think has made great strides. He's a big guard, all right? He's like, I kind of joke with him, he's like a point/nose guard. But he's really slimmed up and gotten down to single-digit body fat, which was great because he was in about 18% when he came in. So it's been good for him. A local guy, TJ Grant, has had I'm expecting big things from him. From Veterans High School, he came in his senior year in high school. He had a torn ACL, and so last year he just hadn't played for a whole year, so it was really hard for him. And I probably should have redshirted him, but we had some injuries that I just couldn't afford to do that. So it wasn't really fair to him. He didn't get the time, or he didn't have the timing when he came back off that injury. So he's had a whole summer, preseason, playing with a lot of confidence. I'm expecting a lot of big things from him. But the 8 new guys that come in, 3 freshmen, one's from Michigan, one's from Indiana, and one's from right up the road to Eagles Landing. So we're excited about those 3, David Thomas, Anthony Bernard, and Jake Davis. And then the 5 transfers, you have an idea because you've been able to see them. You watch film again with them, or of them, where you kind of see them competing and how they fit into your program. I think that's the hardest. We talk about we are psychiatrists, but I think some of it is I thought we did a really good job of filling those spots with the right people. Where you know exactly what you're getting. So that's why I've been very excited about the start of this. We had one closed scrimmage this past Saturday, which I thought we did very good. And then we got another one this Saturday. We were without Jack Quinones and Mike Zanoni. He just has some minor injuries, but they'll be back this week. But really looking forward. We last year our offense really struggled, and people that watch are like, what in the heck are you guys doing? From an offensive standpoint, we got more skill, we got more talent, and we can shoot the ball better. And I think our basketball IQs is playing the game the right way. You're also going to enjoy watching that a little bit more this year than you did last year. On the defensive end, we were top 3 in the conference. We're going to stay that way at least because I think defensively we're still good. We got some athleticism and got more depth this year. So I expect our defense maybe to even be a little bit better. But on the offensive end, we got to score and make it fun for people. Any questions?
Given the ability to shoot a little more, was that the number one emphasis when you went out and got these new guys?
Yeah, like Michael Zanoni is a really good shooter for us, a freshman, but it was hard for him. Number one, he's a freshman. Number two, he needed people to create shots for him. So yes, we did go out and get better shooters, but we also, I think, got better decision makers in helping a guy like Mike Zanoni, who not necessarily is a create your own shot kind of guy, but just as simple, and Susie said it earlier, learn how to pass. Those are simple things that I didn't think we did a very good job of last year, that I think we're going to do a much better job in this year. Being able to, good shooters usually have really good passers that are passing it to them.
Given you guys are a similar program in the sense that you have so many new faces, what have Jalen and John and maybe even TJ done to bring those guys along a little bit?
Well, we do more team stuff together, and I think they've even said it, like they've even go get the freshmen and bring them over to their apartments. That's a much better team chemistry in my opinion so far. And Susie's right, that it's all good until you start reading your stats and your minutes aren't as good as what you think they were going to be. That's where the real, we're going to find out, how close we are when those things happen, because it's hard to play everybody. There's going to be some unhappy people, on your team, and you just got to be able to keep talking to them, watching film with them, and explaining to why they're not playing. And your time's going to come if you do these things. But that's going to be for any coach, that's the biggest struggle, I think, as you start your season.
I know you mentioned, you didn't finish the season the way you guys wanted to. Well, what's the next step in your eyes for this program? Obviously you want to compete for a conference championship, but what is the next step, especially with all these new guys in the mix?
Yeah, I think it's our second year here. We've played in the championship game, the conference tournament, which obviously I was excited about, and our guys were excited about that. That's what we want to do, and that is our ultimate goal. In the last couple of years with injuries or whatever you can say, I mean, we didn't do it. You know what I mean? So I think we've got some really good pieces that have come in that are, all they care about is to win, and they don't care so much about their accolades. And I can see it from day one in the summer. Guys that have come in are buying into that. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
As always, when anybody was ready to stay and have lunch with us today, appreciate y'all coming, and we'll see you again next week.